Bledsoe was arrested.
Patrick Montgomery was in court.
Jonathan Manapa will stay in federal custody.
No, I don't take responsibility at all.
Hey everyone, welcome to the show. So 45-year-old Texas resident Daniel Adams traveled to D.C. with his cousin. His cousin is Cody Connell, and the prosecutor referred to them as the tip of the spear because they were at the very front of the mob and the physical assaults on the police. So here's what all went down. In the early morning hours of January 6th, Adams posted a status to Facebook, and he wrote, quote, "Getting a few hours sleep. Sounds like the protest is going to be eventful. Glad I got my Cody Connell with me." So on January 6th, Adams and his cousin were seen climbing through the scaffolding that was set up for Biden's inauguration. A short time later, Adams and Connell were at the front of a large mob, and they were facing off against only 7 officers. So the officers were completely outnumbered. So the mob was screaming at them. They're throwing things at the officers. They're spraying them with chemicals. Well, Adams looked at the mob around him and he said, quote, "Let's go. Are you ready to push? You ready to push?" So then Adams gave a signal and the crowd started to push against the police riot shields. So while they're pushing, Adams yelled at one officer, quote, "Hey, you're not even a fucking American." And then simultaneously, another member of the mob sprayed over a riot shield and hit an officer in the face with a chemical. So that officer stumbled sideways and he, for a short period of time, lowered his shield for a second. So Adams yelled to the mob at that moment, quote, "Let's go, let's go, let's go." So totally took advantage of that weakness. So that's when Adams and his cousin rammed into the officers and they started pushing against them. So the officers were overrun. They were forced to retreat at that point, and Adams and the others charged towards the Capitol. And Adams was screaming, "Come on, let's go." So Adams and his cousin, again, maneuvered to the front of the mob. They were at this point at the Senate wing doors after an officer hit them with or actually hit Adams in the head with a baton. So Adams recorded a video while others in the mob were smashing the windows on either side of the doors, and he had blood coming down his head, and he yelled, quote, "This is the Capitol building," and quote, "This is my house." So within minutes, others in the crowd climbed in the broken windows. They kicked open the Capitol doors from the inside. You guys have all seen those videos. And Adams' cousin pulled the doors open. He pulled them open fully so everyone could enter. And then Adams followed his cousin inside while the alarms are blaring. They didn't stay inside for very long, though. In fact, Adams was in the Capitol for only about 3 to 4 minutes. And then after he and his cousin exited the building, they headed back down. They went down, the exterior Capitol steps, and they ran into this huge mob, and he told the mob, Adams, quote, "It's open, let's go." And then after leaving the Capitol grounds, Adams was boasting about his crimes on Facebook. So he made public posts. He also sent private messages, and he wrote things like, quote, "Just to get things straight, it wasn't Antifa or BLM. It was pissed off American patriots. Me and my cousin led the charge. We were the first ones in. Don't show anyone this picture. We were the ones who broke through the last barricade." And quote, "Every time an elected official operates outside the boundaries of the Constitution, we need to burn this motherfucker down until they start arresting people." Also, quote, "I don't want to put a whole lot on Facebook, but you and I need to get together and I will show you some crazy shit." And then he also posted, quote, "I was one of the first ones in the Capitol building. It was a fight at the beginning." Well, Adams lost that bravado, disappeared when the feds came a-knocking, And Adams claimed that he and his cousin left the Capitol grounds at the very first opportunity they had. He said before anyone entered the building, they left. And then he denied seeing any assaults on officers. He said he didn't see any property damage. So the agents reminded him, hey, lying to a federal agent is a crime. So Adams started giving these vague answers after that. So, for example, they asked him, were you hit on the head because you were near a police line? And Adams responded, quote, I guess we will have to see. So he did admit to throwing his cell phone in a lake. He said he did that the day before he was arrested. And then Adams conceded that he deleted his Facebook account. So Adams was arrested on January 16th of 2021, and he was charged with civil disorder, obstructing an official proceeding, assaulting officers, entering a restricted building or grounds, 2 counts of disorderly conduct, impeding passage on Capitol grounds, and parading or demonstrating in a Capitol building. Adams refused a plea deal. He opted for a stipulated bench trial. And in July of 2023, Adams was convicted on all counts. However, as you all know, because of the Supreme Court's asinine ruling about the obstruction charge, that one conviction was dropped. So Adams was facing a combined 16 and a half years in prison, 23 years of probation, and over $700,000 in fines. But the government requested a sentence of 51 months in prison, 3 years of probation, and $2,000 in restitution. So U.S. District Judge Paul Friedman presided over Adams' case, and he's always erred on the side of weakness. This was no different. The judge sentenced Adams to only 26 months in prison, 3 years of probation, and a $2,000 fine. So there you go. That's what you get for being the tip of a spear at an attempted insurrection. Yeah. All right. So we'll see if this is one that gets a pardon. I'll keep you posted on that. Thank you all so much for watching and listening. Please like, please share, and subscribe. Please donate if you can. Love you all. Take care. Talk with you soon.